guys, it's Selima with Selene Moon Goddess Tarot here with another pick a card reading. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. I wanted to just start off right off the bat thanking everyone who has subscribed. I'm up to 190 guys, and so I'm just really excited because I want to reach as many people as I can. And I realize that majority of my readings are love readings, but and originally I intended to be a much more, deeply spiritual type of channel. But what I'm realizing is that through love, in a lot of ways, we can transform, right? Because it says a lot about who we are, the way we interact with the people in our lives, and the way we interact with the world, and our opinions of ourselves and standards that we have and things like that. And so there are a lot of subjects that actually can be touched upon when we are talking about love. So I kind of resolved that little knot in my head, really just I'm glad you all are here. And let me know in the comments if you guys have any suggestions for any other kind of subjects, because I mean, honestly, we could do tarot readings on your purpose. We could do tarot readings on messages from your ancestors, or career, or it could be anything. So it doesn't have to be on love, but I do dig the message cards, and I enjoy doing these love readings. So it's going to be the same as before. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And the way it works is we have 3 decks of cards here. I'm going to list the decks. This is the Uncommon Tarot. This is the Lumina Tarot, I believe. And this is the Foxina Tarot, but I know I'm saying that wrong. So I'm going to put an Amazon list in the description box that has all the decks that I do own, in case you want to shop there for yourself. And I'll put the titles of these in there too, so because obviously I can't read today. So, but these are some of my favorite decks. So what we're going to do, this is going to be pile 1, this is going to be pile 2, this is going to be pile 3. I ask that maybe you just pause the video at this time and go with the deck that kind of calls to you. If you happen to click on a timestamp, which I'll also have listed below, and it doesn't sound like it's your situation, just pick another deck, or I have tons of other readings. And also, if you don't enjoy my style of reading, there's thousands of other tarot readers on this channel. So on this channel, Jesus, no, not this channel, on YouTube. So yeah. So we will start there. We're going to do spot check on the situation and then the message cards, as we usually do. All right. So I will see all of you at your pile. All right. Pile 1. Welcome. All right. So I hope you are doing well. As I said in the intro, I'm so excited that we're up to 190, and thank you all for subscribing and hanging out with me for this time. Yeah, so if you guys have any suggestions for different readings, different subjects, put them in the comments, and also comment, because I love hearing what you guys have to say. I love the interaction, and it gives me a chance to interact with you guys when I'm not doing a reading, right? So and let me know if you have any ideas on what we can do on the channel to make it more unique or different. Like I see on some other channels, they do like lives and things like that, which I've tried, and I'm not very successful at that. Because everybody's busy. We all got our own fucking lives, like not everybody has a chance to, be on YouTube and listen to lives. So unless I'm doing like maybe a subject that you want me to do. So anyway, enough of me babbling. Let's get this spot check on your connection, and then those message cards, okay? I'll get my glasses on, because my ass, getting old and shit. Gotta have my readers. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Let's see what Spirit has to say about this connection here. Pile 1 in their person, please, Spirit. 2 of Swords already, okay. 2 of Swords. didn't mean to like. Whoa. That almost went into my candle. That makes that instantly makes me think of that song by Shaka Khan, Through the Fire. I wonder if that's your song. If it is your song, put it in the comments. Through the fire, through the limit to the wall. Anyway, don't mind me. I do that in my normal life, by the way, too. I'm pretty annoying to my family. I just bust out singing. Let's see, one more, please, for this spot check between pile one and their person. Nope. All right. Well, that's okay. All right. So we have the Two of Swords, the King of Pentacles. That's a nice king to have. Page of Swords. I just, oh, and the page, 2 pages. Interesting. Okay, so I would say, that this is a new connection, or your person, if if you're in a connection with a masculine, your person here is having some new epiphanies about you, I think, and about this connection. The first card being the Two of Swords. It's really usually with a lady that is got 2 swords there, and she's blindfolded. I don't know. It makes me feel like maybe your person's avoiding the truth about this connection. You might be the more intuitive one out of the two. It seems like overall in the collective that has been the theme. Like females, or I shouldn't say females, but feminine energy is evolving much faster than masculine energy, I think, right now. There's a higher level of emotional intelligence that's taking place. And there's lots of reasons why that is, but I think that a lot of the masculine energy seems to be a little bit behind on love, on what they want for themselves, what they want in relationships, understanding connections, understanding, even getting the idea of what really love should be and what they want love to be in their life. The Page of Swords is, I was going to say earlier, usually what I try to do as like a practice is like do my own tarot reading for myself. Kind of like, a spread of the day. And if you do play with tarot, I encourage you to do that because it really helps you to practice your intuition. It's very difficult to really read for yourself, honestly, because it is yourself, and it's easy to argue or not trust what you're getting from the reading and the cards. So it does help you to practice what it feels like when it is intuition and not just your own opinion about the situation. But this card is really about this kind of truth that is like a childlike truth, right? So like a truth, like, a kid will like, you're at a family event and a kid walks up to you and be like, you look fat. Are you pregnant? Like, how kids are just so like raw and honest. That's what the Page of Swords is really. This inquisitive energy. Some people, now that we have all this technology and stuff, I think some people say that the Page of Swords is maybe they're watching your social media. I think it's kind of like a little bit of a stretch for that. It's possible because that happens all the time these days. But I think if anything, there's a lot of curiosity about you, and they see you kind of for your face value. So that's why I think it's a new connection. Maybe you guys haven't gotten together to talk about deeper levels of both of you and the layers of your personality and stuff like that. But you are causing some type of, like, you've impacted your person enough to where they notice you now. Like if you are at work or you guys are attend the same school or whatever, they notice you now. Like you've done something to pique their interest. Now they're very curious about you. And I think the Page of Coins in the same way, it is a very concrete type of energy, right? A new concrete type of energy, but it is like like the inclination to be like, you know what, I kind of do want to get to know this person. Like I don't know much about this person, but this person is an honest person. This person is somebody that I would want to invest in a little bit, spend some time with, get to know. Um, but let's clarify these because I'm curious about this Two of Swords here. So, what about the Two of Swords? And pile one's person. Two of Swords, please clarify. Indecision. I wasn't wrong. We got the Hanged Man there. Clarify the King of Pentacles here. Ooh, the Lovers. Okay. All right. Well, there is attraction there. There's love. There's your person sees some compatibility with you. They feel like you guys would make a great team together, that you guys could work well together. You guys have a lot of puzzle pieces as far as your character and your personality that would work together. Well, that doesn't explain. See, we're going to clarify because I want, like, we've got two answers that are the same, like indecision, indecision. I mean, this is a little bit more like the Two of Swords is a little bit more like, you know, seeking intuition, seeking understanding, but not wanting to see the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You know what I'm saying? And the Hangman is really about kind of taking initiative to set yourself apart from perhaps social norms or what's more common, and look for more insight. Because the Hanged Man is typically hung upside down. And this art is interesting, but this is, you can see that's him right side up. He's got like some pink pants on, like parachute MC Hammer pants. But, you know, he's hung by his feet, like on his own accord. He wants to be away and looking for insight and tapping into his own intuition, asking the universe for guidance in that kind of way. Okay, so your person definitely has a crush on you. Feels like you guys would work well together. So let's clarify the Page of Swords then. Why the Page of Swords, please, Spirit? Oh. Ten of Wands. So there's some truth here that's been difficult for your person to digest. Like they feel burdened by this truth. So, oops, one fell down. Hold on. Yikes. All right. Geez, hold on one second. Apologies for my camera acting super annoying right now. All right. It'll stop shaking here in a minute. So for the, and then we have another kind of recluse card. Okay. So I'm wondering what is going on here, because with the page, with the Ten of Wands under the page, it's kind of like there's been a truth revealed to your person that has become a burden. So I'm wondering if there's another person involved here, or there is a burden, like perhaps your person works a lot, or the burden of this insight that now they understand that you're somebody that maybe they've been always looking for, and now that they found you, it's almost like right person, wrong time, you know, kind of thing. Right person, wrong time, or the truth about who you are, or you kind of like, you know, spit some truth to this person. It was just like, listen, dude, you're going to have to, or dudette, you're going to have to make a decision about us and about whether you want this connection or not. You know, yeah, let's clarify a little bit more because, oh, and I didn't mention, we do have the Hermit here, like I said, and the Hermit is similar to the Hangman, but this energy here with the Hermit is this person coming into more maturity about what things they need to be learning. So, because the Hermit is a wise one, okay? He's somebody that the energy is going and seeking further insight. Like you've had the initial ego death, you've had the initial kind of like awakening, and now you're like trying to step out with this page of Pentacles energy, to step out in a more solid manner and seek further insight into this connection. Um, what is the indecision about, though? I don't understand. Tell me more about this indecision, please, Spirit. Clarify that. Just the indecision with the King of Pentacles. Why? Why is this decision so hard? Clarify, please. Okay. Oh, my Lord. Okay. Well, okay, so we have the awakening, which is like judgment, and the Nine of Swords. Wow. All right. This is a spiritual connection. And I think that your person has done something or hurt you in some kind of way. And, you know, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but yeah, I did. How I was in the intro, how I was saying how, love can really provoke huge growth in someone, right? And inspiration. And I think sometimes when it comes to love, especially in these soul connections, it can provoke, like it could just dig up trauma from childhood even. And I think what I'm trying to say is that your person, if they pursue this connection with you, because they do love you, they do know that you guys are a match, and they are super curious about you and want to learn so much more about you. But that also creates a huge level of anxiety for them. It keeps them up at night. So whatever ultimatum that you did give them, if they pursue this connection, it's also going to require that they level up, which creates some anxiety for them. They want to come in and apologize. They want to come in and say, listen, I'm sorry I was immature. I'm sorry that, I just didn't see clearly, before with the Two of Swords. Like I wanted to know, but I didn't want to really look close at who I am as a person. And I fucked up and I ghosted you, or I breadcrumbed you, or I wasn't honest about my feelings from the start. And they do want to apologize. But that requires inner learning, right? That they are seeking on their own with I think initially it was this younger hangman energy, and now we're ending with the Hermit. So that's a positive thing. That's a positive thing. So any advice for pile 1, please, about this connection? What advice do you have for pile 1 in this connection? Advice for pile 1 in this connection. Ooh, got a little grip of cards here. Let's see what whole ass sentence that the universe is saying here. All right, 3 of Wands, Knight of Coins, and 9 of Cups. All right, you're not going to like this because most people don't like to be told what you're probably already telling yourself. So the advice really is the 3 of Wands, the Knight of Coins, and the 9 of Cups. So the 3 of Wands is a card about planning. It's about actually the plans already being rolled in place. This guy's on his horse and he's set in his direction of where he's going to go. Sometimes it's called the travel card. Sometimes, it means to focus on yourself. That's the part a lot of people are like, oh, fuck. They always say that, focus on yourself. But, and it's hard when you're in love with someone, or when you've given them, you're waiting for some type of answer because it just doesn't allow for closure, right? But it is important to make sure that you're doing something every day for yourself, every day. Something that is exclusively for you. A project, a hobby. Take up 10,000 step walking. paper mache. I don't know. But do something for yourself every day, because this person is going through it a little bit, and you're going to have to allow them that process of maturing emotionally, and they are going to get there. So it's going to take some time with the Knight of Pentacles, because this is a newer connection and it's a newer epiphany for your person. But what's nice about this particular night is that I think, and also I'm going to mention that I'm sure that your person seems like it could have been a little bit deceiving for you, or misleading, I should say, that your person appears very mature on the outside, and maybe in their everyday life they are very mature. But when it comes to emotions, I think that your person, and paying attention to what they want in a relationship, not what everybody else wants, is a new idea for your person. So they're going to have to dig through that a little bit. But ultimately, emotional satisfaction is where you're going. Focus on that. This is like wish fulfillment, emotionally being, satisfied and complete with your cups, satisfied and complete with what you've done in this connection and how you've put yourself forward. You've given, an opportunity for this person to see what you have to offer. And it is ultimately up to them if they're going to come back with that apology. But you focusing on yourself is the most important thing. So yeah, you know what? You want to listen to a tarot reading? Listen to a tarot reading. Does it need to be all day long? No, that's a little obsessive. You want a spot check to just see how things are going? Yeah, listen to a reading or two. But anything, less is more, right? And going back to what I was saying about how love teaches us about all kinds of things, like this is also a lesson for you too. When we talk about the lovers, it's Gemini. It is two counterparts that match, that go together. So not only is your person learning, not only have you've provoked, some type of dark night of the soul for this person. They are also teaching you, and the lesson that even though us, whoever, the feminines, the energies of the feminines, because gender is not inside tarot, so just in the dynamic where you have one person who's giving more, you have the chaser, the one who is a little bit more emotionally mature, and then you have the runner. So the lesson for the chaser is pulling back, managing those feelings of anxiety of what, like, I need an answer now. Also managing the temptation to be bitter and angry and hold grudges, the temptation to feel rejected, abandoned emotionally by this person. Those are all things that we have to look at ourselves inversely, right? They're having to look at themselves for the first time in a lot of ways. And, the chaser is having to stop and reflect and focus on self-love and ground yourself, remember who you are, that this person, just because that you have got feelings for them, that the winds of change for them don't need to blow your way and throw you off. They don't text you back or they haven't answered. You continue on your path, because it's just like, one time I think I was reading a book. Oh God, what book was that? I don't know. Anyway, they said, like, they were talking about anxiety and stuff like that, and in connections, and it said, it's just like when you're planting seeds, right? You have a garden, you're planting seeds. If you plant the seed in the dirt, you don't go back the next day and dig it up and see if it's growing, right? You plant it and you leave it. You give it its nutrients. That's how that old saying, as they say, hold space for the person. You can say, I'm here when you're ready. It would be healthy for us to resolve this, no matter what the outcome is, that kind of thing. But you don't dig it up every day. It's never going to establish any roots. And it's the same thing in love. When crossroads are when you arrive at a crossroads, how you have to definitely allow time for that person to, when discussions about like, are we taking this to the next level, or, I really need you to communicate more with me, or whatever the problem was, that you allow them time to grow on their own. And also because you're going to probably be able to tell, because if you are going to be listening to readings, if you start getting these readings that are just redundantly this person's hangman, death, or not death, but hangman, the hermit, they're not growing, blah, blah, blah. Those are signs also pointing to you to trust the guidance in your life when you think about the connection. Like, maybe it is time to just kind of walk away and allow that person, maybe maybe that is their decision, is to not pursue the connection. But allow time for roots to be established, right? Especially if this is a new connection, which it does seem like it is a new one. All right. So I'm going to leave that spot check there. And then now let's get some messages, some secret little thoughts and messages from your person. I hope that helps. These situations are super difficult. They are hard to navigate, and especially when we're bringing in our own trauma from, oh Lord, it can get complicated. All right, so let's see. Pile one's person. What do they want to tell pile one? Aw, that came out quick. I love you. Okay, give us some more, please. Whoa, that almost went into the fire. To the limit. Okay. So, my understanding of love has changed forever because of you. Wow. Yes. So you've this whole, hangman, searching for insight, their understanding has changed. And that could be why that 9 of Swords is there. They're just processing it in an anxious way, right? Which can be debilitating. Please give me a chance. All right. Camping, rain, our bodies twisted in lust. So they daydream about you for sure. There's attraction there. They daydream about those special moments that you have between someone that nobody else is there, that only you and your person can really describe. And those are those things that, I appreciate the lessons I've learned about being private and not sharing your connections with people, when it comes to, now this is excluding anything that's abusive, right? We're talking about healthy connections, right? We're not talking about abusive ones. That's a different subject. When it comes to you and your person, if it's a spiritual connection, which it seems that it is, people are not going to understand it. And frankly, it's none of their business. Only you and your person are going to understand it. Only you and your person are going to be able to really feel the feels when you guys are together, like this card kind of illustrates. You got a bunch of them here. Oh, see, so there's something about rainy days. Maybe in your area it's raining a lot right now. I know where I live, it's last couple days it was raining. Rainy day cuddles. The passion I feel for you scares me. I wonder if that's also a component therein with the 9 of Swords. Just, and I will say, you might want to look up 999 angel number, because you have the 9 of Cups, the Hermit, which is 9, and the 9 of Swords. Can we do life together? Wow. Yikes. So they're not only just daydreaming about cuddling, they're daydreaming about commitment. They're daydreaming about walking this life with you in their life. It's hard to admit I was wrong. I told you. That's the anxiety when you put together the 9 of Wands, the 9 of Swords and the and judgment. Mm-hmm. A couple more here from this deck. Let's see. Oh, there you go. I made the wrong choice. That's that realization. You can almost see the progression of maturity. Like, I love you, camping, lust. Can we just do life together? To my understanding of love has changed forever. It's hard for me to admit I was wrong. I made the wrong choice. Actually, I want to do some from this deck. Now, this deck, as you, if you're familiar, is another deck I made, but it has some spicy little comments in there, so just FYI. So if you haven't had sex with your person, maybe you've done some smooching, right? But if you haven't, just disregard it. No one understands me like you. I can just hear pile one, like, guys, like, yeah, huh? I told you ain't nobody gonna understand you like me, but you didn't want to believe me. Anyway. All right, let's get some more messages from this pile. Okay, I told you. Play with it. Maybe you guys have had some, like, or they're having fantasies about, like, some FaceTime schmexy stuff. I wish you communicated with me. I'm gonna leave that one up to you, pile one. Like, I think your person, it would be only fair that they communicate with you first. But, and not out of spite, just out of the whole idea of, like, you know, if there's an apology that needs to be done, then, you know, you shouldn't have to, like, pile one, you should not have to beg for an apology, right? We don't do that. We don't do that around here. I want to make you happy. Justice again. They want to apologize. Or, I mean, if there is a third party in this connection, maybe divorce is something that needs to happen. Where's the third one? There's another one that came out. Oh, there it is. 10 of Cups. Nice. So we had, you know, for your advice, you had the 9 of Cups. And so the 10 of Cups is, again, it's a card of, you know, emotionally feeling complete. I would say that the 9 of Cups is more of like satisfaction. This is completion. This is like getting to the point where they want to make a life with you. They want to have a grounded connection with you, where you guys are partners in this journey. They have a lot of love for you. Because this love is not just about what society tells us about love, right? Like, this is teaching you guys huge character lessons. And relationships that deep don't fade quickly. You know, they are very impactful. Even if you guys don't end up pursuing this connection, you're not going to forget this person, and they are not going to forget you ever. Well, your person wants to talk about freaky shit. That's what I see here. Hold on. Soft choke. Okay, a little grabbing of the neck. Hot, wet, steamy sex. So, if you haven't had that, that is something on the menu that they want to experience with you. And wet panties, also something they want to have with you. 2 of Cups. Oh, see, I like that. I'll put that up here. So I lust you, obviously, with those cards. So if you were wondering if they backed away because they're not attracted to you, that's a damn lie. That's your own self lying to yourself. They definitely are sexually attracted to you. So however you look, however you present, they like it. It floats their boat. It butters their bread. They are into it, okay? And then the Two of Cups, which is emotionally giving in an equal manner. It is you fill my cup, I fill your cup, and then we recycle. It's kind of like a fountain, never runs out of water because it goes, you know, just recycles. And so they really see this connection in that way. So so the anxiety is coming from just admitting they're wrong and maybe even thinking you won't take them back. Maybe they think, I wish you would, maybe that's what this is about with, I wish you communicated with me. Like, I wish that you would just give me a sign that you're open for the apology, right? So we'll make this the last one. Hold me. Oh, see, that's a good one to end on. That's sweet. That is sweet. They want that, maybe maybe their love language is physical touch, and maybe communication is just so hard for them. And that's a hard thing to navigate too. If they're not able to talk about their feelings, it's not like you guys can, just like have sex to communicate. That would be not a healthy thing, right? So I'm going to leave it there. But pile one, I enjoyed this reading so much. I think your person really cares about you. You've just got to give them a chance to kind of, you know, grasp the totality of this connection and also be brave. And being brave is doing it afraid, right? So hopefully they get there. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for coming by. Hit the notification bell so that you are notified when I put readings up. And put it in the comments if you have any suggestions for any different ones, all right? I wish you the best. Bye. All right, pile two. How you doing? I hope you are doing well. Pile one was it went too long. I just got so engrossed. These readings can be long. That's part of the reason why I started doing I do some shorts too of just like messages, because these readings can be long. But when I listen to tarot readings, I kind of listen to them like they're podcasts or something. So, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. We're going to do a spot check on your person and your connection with them and what's been going on. And then we'll have these lovely message cards. And I'm sorry about this damn camera. I don't know why it does that. I can't, it's like either you have it on autofocus or you don't. And then everything's blurry. So I probably should upgrade my camera, but tú sabes, gas is just too damn high. The world's going to shit. Anyway, okay. Pile two, sorry. Let's see. What is going on with pile two? Whoa. Ooh, we got three right out the bat. Whoa. What's going on over here? Let's get some more. Tell me more about what's going on with pile two and their person. Pile two and their person. Thank you, Spirit. What do we got going on here? Let me see. All right, so we got the King of Wands, passion, charisma, with the Five of Cups. So there's been a breakup, some kind of, sadness, feeling left out in the cold, mourning something. Oh, shit. We've got counterparts. You have the Queen of Wands. I mean, if you needed an elementary set of 3 cards that say breakup, like the little SpongeBob breakup, that is it. You got 2 counterpart cards and the 5 of Cups. Yeah. And then after that, we have the 3 of Pentacles. So maybe this was a work connection. Maybe that's why this breakup happened, or someone put someone on a pedestal, maybe. But it seems more like this could be a work connection. Maybe that is why. If you broke up with this person because you work with them, is a possibility. I find it interesting that the Queen of Wands came out after the Five of Cups and is facing the Three of Pentacles. And then we have the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is like, really talks about just like everything from feeling like, that there's fantasizing about different scenarios or being surprised by unexpected, like, emotional truths. Maybe there is too many people into this connection that knew about this connection, putting maybe lies in someone's ear about this connection, or there's, fear about what people would think about this connection. Both of you might be in leadership. You guys are strong, strong characters. You guys are charismatic, passionate. People look to you as examples of, like, for you, if you're the feminine, they like look at your fashion sense. They look at your emotional intelligence. For the king, it's more like they look at the leadership qualities, the charisma, the influence that you both have a lot of influence on the public. So if this is a work connection, I can see why it's ended, and that you guys are mourning, or your person's mourning it. And it could be the other way around, where your person broke up with you. But let's get more, all right? Let's clarify, please. King of Wands, clarify. Okay. Whoa, that's 3. It's the top one. 10 of Wands. Eek. Burdens. Feeling burdened. Something about your person. Maybe it could be the job is burdensome. Something is burdensome that relates to this connection. So tell me more about the Five of Cups, please, Spirit. What about the Five of Cups in this connection? Five of Cups, please, Spirit. Clarify Five of Cups. Your person doesn't want to talk here. Let's reshuffle. Tell me about the Five of Cups. Why is the Five of Cups here? Okay. Oh, that's why. Oh, shit. You guys are soulmates. Or twin flames. Now, I really need to do a reading. Like, I should do a reading on twin flames. But really, twin flames is like a coined kind of popular word for soulmate. And it came, I remember during COVID, it was something that was spoken a lot about in readings. And everybody had their kind of own, following their own idea or intuition about what a twin flame was. Some people say it's one soul that has divided in two, and that's why you have all this magnetism towards a certain person in this lifetime, that you guys reincarnated. Personally, I feel that, or what I've gathered, like when I do readings on myself or connections like this, the idea of twin flame really is a soulmate. It is a soulmate. You guys have your own souls, but you mirror each other. Like, you're exact mirrors of each other, which creates the emotional push and pull that happens in these connections. Because we have, to clarify the Five of Cups, the Lovers and the Empress. The other thing could be that there is a third party happening here. Maybe your person is married. Sometimes love connections can, they can just happen at the wrong time. We go about our life, and a lot of people, including myself, we got sucked into making decisions about romance and love and whether we want a family or not based on what society says we should be doing, right? especially when it comes to women and like your age and when you're going to have kids and all that shit. So it could be that your person does have someone at home, has a family. You also might have a family. Family might be a big part of another component as to why this connection has there's a lot of pain in this, because it's saying that there is mourning and pain when it comes to the idea of lovers. And when the Empress, a lot of people will use it as like a face card, like it means that it is somebody. And if I did that, it would say that there is a third party in here. But if that doesn't resonate, um, and more like the idea of family and love is painful from past hurts, past connections have created, a wedge into this connection, where if you guys are counterparts, and you're both mirrors, right? You're reflecting back to each other, but you're seeing, um, it's kind of like the avoidant attachment and the anxious attachment. It's a perfect example of how mirroring can take place in a love connection, right? You have someone who really wants love, but they're burdened by what the commitment is. And even though they want love, might even be in love, they would go to the point of depression because they're so in love. But the fear of commitment, the fear of opening up, sharing their emotions, because they don't want to be abandoned because of what they've masked, they masked so hard in their normal life that they have disconnected in a lot of ways with their emotions. And coming into this new soulmate, kind of like, I'm surprised the tower's not here because it really does feel that way. Kind of this life-shattering kind of moment where you are their counterpart and they never thought they would meet their equal in that way. It almost made them feel naked. And so what do they want to do? They want to, like, totally get into their shell like a little turtle and run away, even though all they want is this connection. All they want is a family life. And then there's the anxious attachment, which you're like, I'm assuming is you. It could be vice versa, but like you are just completely open. Communication is what validates you and makes you feel like you're not being abandoned. Someone being present, someone talking, someone sharing their thoughts, their feelings about the connection. And so you see how that's triggering, right? That you both love each other and one is running and one wants to chase, right? All right, let's keep going here. Let's clarify. For the Queen of Wands. All right, there we go. Death. Death is a good card. I'm not scared of death. One of you might be a Scorpio. But death, and this is why I like my skulls too. Because somebody had told me, shout out to you, I forget your name, but they were like, I don't like skulls. But they really represent to me transformation, growth, like that there is cycles in life. That, first of all, difficult times don't last forever. This life that we live is not going to last forever. We are all not going to make it out alive. And it is just reflects back to me why we need to live each day to our highest potential for our highest good and the good of others in our life. And so this is falling under the Queen of Wands. Transformation is exactly what you're doing. You walked away from this. You're like, you know what? I can't help this situation, but I can move forward. And maybe that's what you did. We have the Six of Swords, again, a card about moving forward. This Six of Swords, it's about also moving forward whether you are ready or not. Moving forward, even though you might be anxious still about the situation, you might have worries about the situation, but setting your eyes on, maybe you're focusing on work. Maybe that's how you're distracting yourself about this connection. But we also got the Emperor. And again, that is fucking nuts, dude. Okay, I've never had that this happened before, but we have two counterparts. And now my left ear's ringing. So usually when my left ear rings when I'm doing readings, it's kind of like a, for me, confirmation from spirit. Like, yes, you're absolutely right. I feel like this is a transformation that's happening here. Maybe this has been a connection that has been through many chapters. Okay, maybe in the beginning you guys were both ambitious and young, broke up. Maybe there's a revisiting of this connection. Because we have the Empress, Death, Six of Swords, and then the Emperor. The Empress and the Emperor. And the King of... and Queen of Wands. That's intense. This is an intense connection. This is a connection, definitely, I would say for sure. I'd bet money that it's a soul connection / twin flame connection. So there's a lot of transformation that's happening here that is complicated. Family is in the mix of it. Let's get some advice. What's advice for pile 2 in this connection? Because this is a lot. Like, I almost, like, if you want a personal reading, contact me. I'll put the website down there. But like a simple 3-card, like a simple reading, a lot. Because I have like a small, medium, large kind of as far as pricing is concerned. But even if it's the cheaper one, if you have a question about this connection, like if it's so complicated, maybe one whole tarot reading would be a good thing for you to do. Yeah, your heart's broken. Lots of heartbreak, lots of sadness here. Whoop. Okay, so this deck, this deck has 2 Lovers cards, which I find super interesting because this is kind of like the beginning of love, right? So romantic, so beautiful, right? And that came out up here. And then we have this Lovers card, which is like obsession. But obsession to the point where you're hurting each other. Why are you hurting each other? Don't do that. Love is painful enough. Going back to the theme that I guess this is going to be the theme. Maybe that's why I said, kind of had it on my heart to say that, love readings, they seem like they're superficial on the face of it, but no, there is a lot of learning that takes place. Lots of pain. More advice about this connection. Queen of Cups. Okay. I'm going to make note that the only cups that are in this reading are the 7 of Cups, which is kind of like illusion, fantasy, mystery, emotional confusion. And then we have the Queen of Cups. So okay, so this is what I'm getting. And then the bottom of the deck here, we have the 4 of Pentacles. There's a push-pull here happening in this connection because of a lot of pain. So if this doesn't sound like it's your connection, just go, pick another pile. But this connection here is a mature connection. You guys have had 2 chapters of dating or being in love or being married, and you're into another chapter. But there's been a chasm in the middle of this 3 of Swords. There's been something, whether, there was a breakup because there was jealousy, there was obsession, there was, someone not being fair, someone putting their time in things and, ventures that took away from this connection. Because there was definitely like 2 stop signs that I see here are the Death card and the 3 of Swords. So yeah, definitely something was painful here. So let's get some messages. I hate to move along like this, but I feel like, the only thing I can say here to you, pile 2, is focus on yourself. Like if you're feeling you're in this Empress energy here, you know, focus on yourself, focus on being creative, get another hobby, focus on, like, if you do have children, not focus on your children, because that can be depleting as a parent, because I'm a parent, but take joy in the things that bring you joy. If this person that you have this history with is coming back, and you're discovering that you do love them after all of this, talk to the universe about it. Talk to the universe about this connection. Talk to your angels and your ancestors, your spirit guides. We all have them. To bring you enlightenment about this. If this is a connection that you're going to want to be in, but there's ultimatums or whatever that have been given, you want to ensure that your counterpart is maturing and entering this emperor maturity. Because the emperor is a combination of all four kings, just like the empress with the queens. And you know, the King of Wands is great passion, but it's lacking love, it's lacking discernment, wisdom, grounded energy, which the emperor embodies all of that, as well as the empress. Okay, so I'll say that. Now let's get these are just some random thoughts that your person might be having about this connection. I don't know if my particular message cards would do the trick with a deep rooted connection like this, but let's just see what comes out. Okay, pile 2's person's thoughts. Okay, that's a lot. I'm gonna say they definitely have a lot to say to you. They want to say a lot to you. You make me feel safe. Interesting. And I think that's interesting because I was talking about, like, the avoidant attachment, and this is a recognition that they would have that might scare them, right? Because that means you see them for who they are. You know them better than anybody knows them, and they know it. I look for you everywhere. So maybe you guys definitely are not living together anymore, maybe, or not working together anymore, or not visiting the same places anymore. Soft kisses and smelling your neck. See, and when I wrote this card, I was thinking about, like, those moments, those private moments that you have with someone that you're in love with, you know, like when you're laying naked in bed together and just taking in a big sigh, right? And just, like, feeling the energy that's there and being grateful for it. That's what I was thinking of with that card. Tangled between your legs. Again, same kind of energy, right? That private time of savoring how neatly both your bodies fit together. I have realized that I am in love with you. Ooh, wow, that's an admission. So whatever drama, caca that happened, they're coming to this realization that they want you in your life, in their life. Oh, here we go. Lying to you was the biggest mistake of my life. There you go. So there's maturity. Remember, I was saying, like, you want to see evidence of growth, of emotional intelligence, and moving in the proper direction. You don't want to see any regression, right? And they daydream about you. You know, this time of being intimate, they wonder, like, well, what turns you on? And I feel like this is not just a simple, hey, what turns you on? It's almost like getting to know you again, right? Getting to know your preferences now that time has passed. Maybe they're realizing that they didn't take enough time with you the first time around. They were too arrogant. They want to get to know you and spend time and energy and effort with you that they didn't have, that they didn't do that before. I miss you. I lust you. Your love brings life into my soul. Yeah, that's the Three of Swords. Like, they feel so lost without you. I think you're the, like the only person that really gets them and understands them. Okay, let's get those here. See what I mean? I'm telling you. I'm sorry for hurting you. I am hiding my feelings from you. Let's meet somewhere secret. Look at that. No one understands me like you. Didn't I just say that? I got this off of, when they say, you make me feel safe. Nobody understands them like you understand them. Pile 2. They definitely realize that they fucked up. They fucked up big time. Well, I guess I wrote this the same thing in 2 different decks, but again, I'm hiding my feelings from you. So there might be more than one truth in those feelings, right? Like, feelings can be complex. Not just, I love you. It could be, I feel safe with you. Or, I'm hiding that I'm scared about this connection. I'm hiding that I don't know where to start, right? Look, can we be honest? I'm telling you. All right. My heart aches for you. Aww, your body is perfect for me. See, I love it when it just matches, like intuition, synchronicities, like when I said about being tangled in soft kisses and smelling your neck and being tangled in each other's legs. It's like that, the feeling of being naked together with someone and breathing, like listening to each other's heartbeats, right? Like breathing at the same rhythm, right? Being in sync in that way. They love everything about you. If you ever had an idea that maybe your physique was not something, or your physique was part of any kind of issue, that is not the case at all. All right. Now, I put the devil in here, as in that deck has a couple of cards that are just the title of some tarot cards. And this is the kind of energy that the devil makes me think of, which is this obsessive, I would die without you. I can't live without you. This Romeo and Juliet type of love, right? And that can be toxic, right? But it is also, it's also a kind of love that is reckless abandon, right? Like it is the most naked type of love, I think, when it's truly an honest type of love. Like, I honestly couldn't live without this person. Yeah. Let's get a couple more for you, pile 2. All right, we got 3. Twin flames. What did I say? Amazing. Confirmation right there. Make love to me. And the last one is, hit it deep. I don't know. You could say that that's sex, but there's a lot of things that can go deep. You know what I mean? Like, it could be hit it deep, make this next chapter a deep chapter, make this relationship what it should have been in the first place. Like we both maybe have made mistakes, but let's start over. Yeah. All right, pile two, I'm going to leave it right there for you. Thank you so much for coming by. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, hit the notification bell so you're notified when I post. And I am open for personal readings as well, and I'll put that information in the description box below. All right, thank you so much for coming by. Until next time. All right, pile three. Nice to see you here. Glad that you came and joined me. I have to say that the other two piles were very different from each other, and both kind of took longer than I thought they were. So, go figure. Well, let's see what yours is all about. Seems like there's like a theme going on in the collective, like I said, where, you know, people are going through a lot of shit right now. You know, like people are having to like, some people are losing their jobs, they're having to get more jobs, they're having to, like here in the North America anyway, if, I don't even know like how, I don't know how far my readings really get. I mean, that's the whole reason why I'm so excited that we got to 190, but yeah, you know, I want to get as far as I can so I can reach more people. But anyway, yeah, here in North America and in the US, shit's real, man. It's a dumpster fire. All right, so let's see what's going on in your connection. Okay, all right, pile three in their person. What is happening? Pile three in their person. Pile three, please. What is going on? Whoa, got those two. Sorry, I think I hit the camera. I love this deck. It's so pretty. All right, we have the Ace of Waters, the Ace of Cups, the Page of Wands, Five of Swords, and Two of Swords. What happened here? Bottom of the deck, I just see the Death card. All right, give me more, please, about this connection with pile three and their person. Tell me more about this connection. Tell me more about this connection. Ooh, heartbreak. Lots of swords. Yeah, we got the Three of Swords. That's, I'm going to say unrequited love, where someone reached out and offered their cup of love and it was not reciprocated. And I think it was a surprise that that was going to happen. Like maybe if it's you, if you're the person that offered your cup of love, like you were shocked by them not wanting a connection with you. And that's happened to me before, actually. That's a whole nother reading, by the way. That's a whole nother conversation, actually. Then we have the Hierophant and the Knight of Wands. Hierophant, Knight of Wands. So, oh my gosh. Okay, so you guys have seen how many times I was shuffling this deck. The Death card stayed here on the bottom. So you or your person is a Scorpio for sure. I really think that... Oh, another thought is that it is the number 13. That could be a date. That could be, for confirmation, it could be, you know, January 3rd, the 13th of a month. But I think that what is fascinating for me, let me share my thoughts here, is that, you know, death is about, it's not a bad card as far as what you would, as we see death here on, in the 3D. It's about transformation. It's about, you know, like the butterfly, right? Like the death of the caterpillar brings the life of the butterfly. It's that same like circle of life kind of idea, but centered around internal internal growth, internal deaths and rebirths that take place. The Wheel of Fortune. Interesting. Okay, let's get more. This is not enough for me. Like it's very incomplete. Is it looks very incomplete to me. And desolate. I feel alone. I feel depressed looking at these cards. Like, since this connection ended, or since this Three of Swords event, it just feels like, it feels like a room with cement walls and fluorescent lighting is what it feels like, if that makes sense. If that puts it, makes it more tangible, for you to feel what I'm feeling here. Up here is where it's feeling that way. Tell me more about the Wheel of Fortune. Where's it going, please, Spirit? Where's this Wheel of Fortune going for pile 3? Where's this Wheel of Fortune going for pile 3? Look at that. It's not coming out. All right. King of Pentacles. I want one more, please, Spirit. One more. One more, please, for this pile. And their person. Well, it's a lot more. But I'm going to take the one that is face out. Okay, look at that. Counterparts. Okay, so you guys... Okay, so this is telling a story now, more clearly. Okay, so we have definitely somebody, like you perhaps offered your cup of love, your passion to this person, your realization that you have passion for this person. You offered your cup of love to this person. I think you did it prematurely. And you might be someone that does have anxious attachment, right? You're confident and you're sure of yourself emotionally. You might have some emotional maturity here. But because of the reaction that you got, that like the truth hurt really bad. Your person was stoic and cold. And they might have even turned away from you, like pulled back their energy. Maybe they might be workaholic, where they just, or be in a high position at their workplace, or perhaps a professor or something like that. But see what's interesting here? It's almost like this Knight of Fire is seeping out. I don't know if you can see it, but here you have little rays of light that are coming through the trees. And this Hierophant is sitting on his knees towards this tree, right? It almost reminds me of the hermit, of seeking insight, seeking wisdom. Teach me. The student on their knees to the teacher after this heartbreak. I think your person has had some realization here with this connection. And it might be the other way around, where like maybe you're the one where your person offered their cup of love and it scared the fuck out of you. And now you're watching this reading because you've had this realization that you actually do have passion for this person. And there's a progression with passion. There's the Page to the Knight. Now, then we got the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is an interesting kind of middle card. It is a card that says, you were here in this situation, but now the tides are turning. The wind is turning in a different direction. Wherever direction you were going in is going to be the opposite now. There's movement coming from this painful lesson that you both have gone through. That and I think you are counterparts. And I was mentioning this in pile 1 and how, or pile 2, one of them, about how when we are soulmates with someone, that we really are mirrors. Like, some people say that twin flames are like one soul that divided, and then you find each other here, and it really is not like that. Um, Honestly, I don't see a reason why one soul would divide in the first place, because if the soul never died, this is just a side note, okay? If to me, this is how I kind of interpret these higher truths, right? Like, if the soul never dies and we reincarnate, let's just say we reincarnate, because if you go back and study some of the oldest religions had, actually including Christianity, actually had reincarnation in the texts, in the doctrine, and they were removed because, for the whole sake of controlling the public. And God, if people thought they had life after life, they would just not even care and just do whatever the fuck they want and blah blah blah. Anyway, you could learn as much as you could be an old soul and continue to learn for infinity, honestly. Like, there wouldn't be a reason to divide and then find someone. But if we're talking about how, that reminds me of that, even I think there's a scripture that says, like, as iron sharpens, God, I can't talk. I swear I'm not having a stroke. As iron sharpens iron, so does the sword sharpen the sword, sharpen the soul. I'm not sure. Anyway, we work together as a mirror to reflect the opposite things in each other, so that it creates more friction, more heat, more ability to be malleable. Is that the word? To be flexible, to learn, to grow, to change, right? Which is what counterparts really do for each other. So it seems like that's the direction this connection is going. So, to make a long story short, the purpose of your connection is to get to this point where you guys meet as equals, grounded, creative, financially abundant, equals. Meaning that your person loves you just as much as you love them. And then we have the high priestess now at the bottom of the deck. And the high priestess, she can see between the veil. She sees between the secrets of the universe and this 3D little ant farm we live on Earth, right? I mean, she can see the difference. She sees the truths, but keeps them to herself, because it would scare people, right? There's a lot of truths here that you guys have had to realize about each other in this connection, that have been very hard to digest, very hard to understand. But ultimately, the point of it all is that the universe sees the potential that you guys have to be a power couple, because you complement each other in the best ways when you're both in each of your own highest state. Okay? Yeah. I'm looking for a deck that I wanted to, I guess I didn't bring it in here, but there was another deck I wanted to use here. Oh, here it is. I didn't do this with anybody else, but this is a new Oracle deck that I got. And I can't even pronounce that. Folia? Arcana Folia Oracle. Anyway, let's get some advice for you really quick, and then we'll get to the message cards. But I feel like, because there seems to be some big gap in what tarot can tell us about this connection, let's just get some advice for you, okay, pile 3? Oh, wait. These are all... Okay, there we go. These are super pretty. They're circles. And they have like this matte brown finish. Okay, what advice do you have for pile 3 in this connection? Advice that you have for pile 3 in this connection, please, Spirit. Advice for pile 3 in this connection. For this connection. go. Okay, I mentioned creativity. Creativity. Use your imagination. Look at that. Oh my God. So remember I told you about the Wheel of Fortune. And look what you got. Change. Card 22. Fear is not a good advisor. Ooh, okay, let's read that one. Fear is not a good advisor. 22, change. Ooh, let's see what we got here. All right. Change. Fear is not a good advisor. New direction, decision making, higher power. Remember the high priestess? Okay. Overcoming fear, instinct awareness. It is time to take the wheel and head towards a new direction in life. Sometimes we have to make decisions ourselves, while other times a higher power intervenes and makes the decision for us. However, all of it is meant to lead us toward a better, happier, successful, and free version of ourselves. It may seem scary to take that leap, but fear is not a good advisor in this situation. Sometimes it may creep up on us in the form of contentment or a feeling that our dreams are unattainable. Therefore, we must be aware of our natural instinct to self-preserve, but we must also remember that our growth lies on the other side of that wall. Wow. So that's interesting. So you guys both are on your way. I wonder if this is like a business venture or something that you guys, that has created some kind of heartbreak, or whether like maybe you guys had a business that you started together that went down the tubes, or you broke up over it. But the direction of that wheel is you guys being counterparts. Creativity. That card is number 1. Okay, creativity. Use your imagination. Problem solving, innovation, oh my God. Adaptility. Oh my God. Please, I hope this is humorous to you because I'm a dork. Anyway, exploration, unconventional, flexibility, and perspective. Try to find innovative solutions to complex problems. By keeping an open mind and a positive problem-solving attitude, we can discover more options and find solutions that benefit ourselves and others. In our daily lives, being creative can add a fun twist to everything. It's all about spicing up the routines and finding joy by exploring bold new ideas. So that's your advice, pile 3, about this connection. So that's where so using those tools, right? Creativity and change. Not fearing change is guiding you. Universe is guiding you so that you both can get to this point of being counterparts, equal creative partners in life, in love, walking away from things that created a lot of pain in the past with the 3 of Swords. So what's your person thinking? What are their thoughts and feelings about this situation? I want to feel that way again. Aww. Makes me think of the inspiration of the Ace of Cups. Are you happy without me? The 3 of Swords. Our connection makes no sense in this world. Yes. I don't, maybe even people got in the way of this connection, or there's just obstacles. Maybe your person just didn't believe that this was possible to find someone that is their actual counterpart. Like, it's something that we see in fairy tales, and hard to believe when it happens in real life. It really is triggering. It really is. It is a tool to help you learn and grow. Not to just be, fluffy rainbows and butterflies and puppies, right? Are you happy without me? I had that twice. That is interesting that I didn't see that before. I wonder if you both are feeling that way. Maybe you're not talking. Let's leave it there. What turns you on? I feel like given the theme, it's not what turns you on. It's kind of like where do you want to start? What is inspiring you? How are you feeling inspired these days? Like, how have you changed? That's what it feels like to me. Your love brings life into my soul. No one understands me like you. Yeah, that's the realization. That's the counterpart realization right there. Let's get a few more. These just came out on top. You are an incredible person. Oh, pile 3. You sure are. I let my ego get in the way. Wow. That's deep. That is a very King of Pentacles comment. That is a very grounded, honest realization of an error and taking responsibility for it. Would you take me back? No one has gotten as close as you. Wow. That's interesting because there's like silly, fuzzy little kind of like romantic cards in this deck. And it's interesting that you're getting all these deep cards. The last one we got is like, he says, or she says, you feel like music to my soul. Well, I'm going to leave it there. I kind of, for the sake of time, and we did that extra oracle deck, I'm not going to use the other message cards because I feel like these are pretty deep. So please, I wish you the best in this connection. I really feel like taking ownership of your responsibility in this and their responsibility in this, being creative, not being afraid to do something different, to rearrange this connection so that it works. It doesn't have to be what everybody thinks the connection should be. You do it all on your fucking own, right? Keeping the relationship private between you and your person. Not everybody needs to know. I mean, if you both are having a hard time understanding this connection, how the fuck are everybody else going to think? They're going to like make up their own things, right? Make up their own. Oh, you should leave him. Oh, you should leave her. Oh, she ain't devoted. All that stupid toxic, like bickering and stupid ass shit that people just project their own insecurities onto relationships. They really do. And it's nobody's business but yours. And when we're talking about a safe connection that's not abusive, right? Keeping these things, it's important to be private. It really is important. All right, I'm going to leave it there. And I really wish you the best. Thank you so much for coming by. I am so grateful for all of you that watch my videos. And I appreciate any feedback that you have, any ideas for new readings. Also, please subscribe, like, comment, share, hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I post a reading. And I'm open for personal readings. So I'll put that link again in the bottom as I usually do in the description box. All right. Thank you so much. It was nice. It was good. I loved doing this reading. This was a great one. You take care. Bye.